Have you always wanted to learn how to sew, but just never got the courage to buying your own sewing machine? Or maybe you do have a sewing machine and you're still too scared to learn how to do it. Well, you came to the right video. 1, 2, 3, 4! Hey, good morning guys. Welcome back to the Green & Co Style YouTube channel where we help people shop and live sustainably. Due to popular vote, I am making a beginner's guide on how to use a sewing machine. So all the need-to-knows and basics of what you need when using a sewing machine. And I'm going to be demonstrating it on my brother domestic sewing machine. Okay, hello. So the first thing that you need to know is the placement. So where to place your sewing machine, what's the best surface to put it on, and whatnot. So I have it on this little brown table here, as you can see. I have a nice chair here. It's kind of like a typing height kind of thing, you know? So like you don't want to like way too high like this unless you want to like stand and sew, but I don't suggest that. Or like too low, like if it was down here, you don't want to be crouching when you're sewing. So just know that if you're crouching, it's not good, and if you have to look up a little bit, clearly it's not good. So typing height is the best, and this is good and stable. I mean, like I'm moving a lot, like an earthquake, but you know, this is like a good stable table. And also, make sure that you have good lighting wherever you do place your sewing machine, like good natural lighting with like the window kind of directed at it, which would be very good. Like there's also a light, you know, that comes with the sewing machine, normally, unless it's like a really old one. Is it going? Okay, so you have it set on a surface. Congratulations. The next step is to plug it in. So if you look over here on the side of your machine, so I have a brother domestic sewing machine. So like every sewing machine's gonna be different, but every sewing machine has the two plugins. So this little one, it looks like that. That will be for your foot pedal. So you find that on the side of your machine. Go under here. So there, that's where my foot pedal is. Can you see it? See it? You can't see it.
Yes, you can. Not there. It was right there.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the video.
Okay. I don't have COVID.
It's doing something. Look.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the first plugin. And then the second plugin. Look over here. It's this black one. It'll probably be on the same side, and it has like these two holes, right? So you're just gonna have to put that in there, and that is the outlet plugin. Okay. So make sure that wherever you are stationing your sewing machine, it's close enough to a plug-in. So you gotta like see how long it is, right? So luckily, I have it there because I don't have an extension cord. Okay, so you've plugged in your sewing machine. Now we need to pick the needle. So the standard size needle is a 14. It'll say 14 ballpoint or 14 sharp, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure you get a size 14. Size 12 ballpoint needle, it's a little bit rounder at the bottom, so those are for knits because they can go in between easier and they don't snag or anything. And better for lighter weight garments too, because they're less heavy, they're lighter. They're smaller. And then, so 12, 14, and then if you want to get a 16, I suggest those are really good for heavyweight garments or denim. If you want to work with denim, if you find that you're doing that a lot, denim is awesome. And then you can have an 18 for like leather, but you need a whole nother machine for that if you want to do 18. So just stick with the 3 sizes. And so I have these needles now over here. This is the one that I took out that was already in my sewing machine. So this is a size 14. And it's flat on this side, as you can see. I'll turn it around here. You see how it's flat on that one side? So that's for domestic sewing machines. So what you will have. And what I mean by domestic is it's this plastic guy. Like if you turn around here, this is what's called an industrial sewing machine. and I'll get more on details about that one in another video. But we're talking about the brother. So make sure for needles you are buying a size 14, because that's for like basic everyday garments, for wovens. You can do for knits as well if you want to, but if you get more technical and you're doing a lot more sewing, you find, I suggest for knits and lighter weight garments, get a size 12 ballpoint. I think that's this one here. Yeah, it says 12 BP, so ballpoint. But these are actually needles for the industrial sewing machine because it's this green case. So when you are shopping in your sewing store, make sure that you buy your needles with a flat edge. Okay? Because that's what domestic sewing machines are good for. If you buy it all the way around and it's a ball all the way around, like this one for example. So this is a size 14 as well, but it's for the industrial sewing machine. Oops. But there's no flat side. It's just like a ball all the way around. It's smooth all the way around. So that's really important. So now let's insert your sewing needle. Okay, let's put him in. So you need your screwdriver, okay? And when putting it in, the flat side is at the back here because of my sewing machine. But I think for every domestic sewing machine is different. So you're just gonna have to feel around with the needle, kind of turning around, like it doesn't fit in that way. So you just kind of turn it and you notice that it fits in this way. So the flat edge is pointed towards the back. So then you hold it inside there with your left or your right hand if you're ready, I don't know. And then screwing with the other hand. Screwing it in. Okay. You don't want it to be too tight, but just right. Just snug like that. Okay, so one more thing about needles. So you put it in, congratulations. But now you need to know, I never knew this for a while, but you need to know when is the right time to change your needle, to switch out your needle. So if you're just using 14s, that's all right. You can use this 14 for a long time, but to know when to change it, you gotta come a little closer now. To know when to change it, so it's inside here, right? And you're like, oh, maybe I need to change it. I think it's been a while. So all you need to do is just stroke it down with your finger like that. Just stroke it down. And if there's a little like scratchy on the bottom here, on either side, maybe, if you feel a little scratchy. Oh, it's tiny bit scratchy. Anyways, if you feel a little bit scratchy, then you need to change your needle. But if it rubs smooth all the way down, then you're fine. Then you're good to keep on sewing. And then also, when changing your needle, I suggest getting a little box, a little designated whatever container to put all your needles that are not good instead of just throwing them in the garbage, because they need to be recycled, not just thrown in the garbage, so that you can take that to your local medical needle waste place. Disposal place. Or yeah, so just look that up. I'm sure that you should have one in town, and if not, well, you may have to travel a little bit if you are in a small town. We are going to thread the bobbin, and we're threading the bobbin first because how to thread the bobbin is you're gonna need your spool with thread, okay, and then normally there should be a diagram, and if not, standard is like, so you want it round from the front instead of coming from the back. So that's how you know how to put it in. There's this little lid cap thing. So you put that on and then you put the cap on, making sure it's a decent size. There's lots of different sizes, like smaller sizes or bigger sizes. That one's perfect. And then you're going to thread following the numbers on your sewing machine. It's the little dotted one for me. So see, it gets like a little bit dotted. And then see there's 2 2s or whatever and 2 1s, because this 2 without the dots is to thread the whole machine, but the one with the dots is for the bobbin. So that's what we're going to follow. Okay? So going down 1 and following the arrows, going up to 2, and then going over here. This is number 3. So you go in here, make sure that it's clicked so it's snug, and then here comes bobbin. So the bobbin, they have a hole on the top here, either side. It doesn't matter, just pick a side. So I brought the thread through the top of the hole, and then you can wind it whichever way you want, like clockwise or counter. I'm gonna do counterclockwise, because the important part to know is that the thread, okay, see the thread? It's coming at the top here. So it looks like a P kind of shape. You can see that. So the thread is coming through from the top of the bobbin. So it shows on the diagram there too. See the thread's coming there and not coming around on the bottom. That's very important. Okay, so this is turned nicely. Good tension. Push the bobbin to the side there, so now it clicks and it's ready to bobbin, ready to sew. And then how you wind it, some machines have a button, but this machine and most machines, you're going to use your pedal. You're going to use your foot pedal, okay? So start slowly, making sure that everything is running smoothly, okay? Oh, turn on your machine. Turn on your machine. Stupid. Okay, so you turn on your machine, and now start putting a little pressure on the foot pedal. See, so it's winding good. Everything is dandy. You can go a little bit faster if you want now. And I'm not going to do all of it, I'm just doing a little bit. But normally, once the thread touches this thing, or it'll click off or something, that's how you know how it's a full bobbin. Once it touches the little thing on the edge there. But I think that's good enough for me, because it's just a demonstration. Snap your thread on your bobbin, handy dandy scissors, and now you have a bobbin. Okay, now that you have your bobbin, let's just finish the bobbin so that he's out of the way, and yeah, then we can move on. So, like I said up here, it's kind of shaped like a P, how the thread's coming like this, right? You're going to want the same kind of positioning when you put it in the bobbin holder thing, whatever. So mine just pops like that. It's just a lid that's supposed to pop, and now it's not. You know when I'm trying to do something. There we go. Okay, so you have your bobbin. Making sure thread comes around like this, looking like the letter P, and then we're gonna put them inside, just like that. Okay. And then following arrows, there's normally arrows on your machine. Okay, see the thread comes around, just like this, and then we're going to go under there, going around, and then it just kind of cuts my thread like that. There we go. So bobbin is in. Now we can put the lid on. Okay, now step 5, I think. Yes. Okay, we're on step 5. Now we're going to thread your machine. So the spool was here. Okay, it's all threaded for bobbin. We're going to unthread this now. We don't need that anymore. Okay, but go ahead, keep your spool the way it is. It's nice like that. So we need it just like that for the bobbin and for threading the machine. So we're going to follow the numbers, like I said again, but not the dotted lines now. Now we're going to do the solid lines, okay? So following it goes down, and this is number 2, going around, and then down again, following the numbers. And now you see it says number 3 down there. You see that? Okay, so that's number 3. And now it says to go up. So following, go up. And then around, if you can see inside there, there's a little hook. So you can go around that. And then down again. Now we're on 5. Okay. And then 6 is right here. It just has a little hook here. Not all sewing machines have this, but this is just to make sure that the thread stays there. And then 7 and 8 is to automatically thread your needle. But not a lot of sewing machines have the automatic button thing to thread the needle, so I will thread the needle, okay? So, in threading the needle, this is important. Most sewing machines, the needle pole is facing you, so it will be forward to back how you thread it. And you know that because the front of the needle, or wherever it is the smooth side, and there's a little indent on the back of the needle. I'm gonna grab another needle. Okay, do you see that? It's a little indent right here, little indent on that side of the needle. That's normally the back, okay? And then the smooth side, like the other side, that's how you know where you thread your needle. It's smooth to indent. Okay, can you see that nicely? Yeah. It's very slight, but you can feel it with your finger, you can know. And then, so like I say, again, for most domestic sewing machines, it will be, you're threading it front to back. Okay, so now we're going to thread it, and you know, my mother made an excellent point on this. Her sewing machine, because it's older, it is not actually a front to back threading process for the needle. It is actually side to side. So I think she threads it left to right. No, right to left actually. It's right to left, and that's actually quite convenient because then the threads are all facing this way when you're sewing, so it's out of the way and it doesn't really pull on the needle or anything or get caught. So, threading, smooth to indent, okay? So in this case, this one is forward to back. Yeah, I got it. First try. Woo! Okay. Okay, so now we're going to align up both threads. The thread from the spool that's in the machine to the thread on your bobbin, okay? So what you're going to do is you have a handle on right here. You're going to make the needle come down, and I'm pulling forward towards me, okay? And then once you see the needle is inside the machine, you see it there? You can just like get scissors here. Let's see. It didn't work. Didn't work. Okay, take 2. Because there we go. I felt it. Okay. So now you can probably see the bobbin doing a little bit of work. So you can either pull the thread out now, just like this, or you can like get your scissors. So you see the kind of knot there? Oh, that's perfect. You can see all of it. So this is the bobbin thread, and then that is the thread from the spool. So awesome. They're both coming through. You need both of them. Okay, this is coming out a lot. You gotta make sure that when you pull on both threads, you feel a little bit of a tension, kind of tug. Because if it's too loose, then you're gonna get like knots underneath or whatever or something, or on top, whether it's from the spool or the bobbin. So it has to have good tension when you pull it. So you just gotta feel with the bobbin. That's actually really loose, there's no tension there. So I have to rethread it. But the top one, the spool from the machine, there is tension there. You feel a little bit of a snug. So I'm just gonna have to rethread my bobbin here. Okay, so my bobbin is now in tension. So see? I mean, you can't feel it, but it's coming out slowly now, right? Because it is a little harder to pull now because it's tighter, and same with the top. So now you are ready to sew. You don't want anything loose, like I said before, because then you're gonna get knots or something. Okay, so now that we have our threads through the needle, through the machine there, from the bobbin, tension is good. Now we're going to pick our presser foot. Okay, so the standard presser foot, or better known as the all-purpose foot, looks just like this. So it's kind of like a groove in, kind of smooth coming in here, so that the hole for the needle is right down the middle, and it's like square, just like this. This is the one that I normally use, just because I like how close the arms are like this. But the hole is on the side and it's not in the center, so it may be a little weird to people. So we're gonna use this one. This one's the standard anyways. Okay, so now how to put it in. Every foot has a bar on here. Like there's lots of foots out there, but we like this one. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop it in right there. And now it's ready to go. Just easily pop in there. And this foot is good for straight stitch, what you would need to use, normal straight stitch, and zigzag. That's what it's basically called for. It's like, hey, I'm good for zigzag and straight stitch and a lot of other things too. Okay, so, and I'm just gonna go a quick little review on why we even need a presser foot. So if you look back here on your sewing machine, there's teeth, kind of like scratchy things, and that's what feeds the fabric through. But then you need the presser foot on top to keep the fabric flat, so that like the fabric doesn't scrunch up or anything, or thread gets all over the place or whatever. So then you'll have a nice clean straight stitch or zigzag or whatever you are stitching. Okay, so we are going to put the foot down, so there's an arm on your machine. So go back here. This. Okay, that is the foot. Okay, it's on the back for me. Some people's on the side, but that is your presser foot arm. Okay. So now fabric is between presser foot and the teeth, and our standard straight stitch. Let's start with straight stitch. Okay, so the standard stitch that you will be using is a straight stitch, or better known as an overlock stitch. People call it straight stitch. So if you look on your diagram here, or wherever your sewing machine is, these are the more basic ones. These are all straight stitches. But this one, because it's in the middle, it also has the line right beside it. I think that's for backstitch. I believe that is for backstitch. So I'm picking this one because the dotted line going forward is in the middle, and this foot is for the middle, right? Okay, so because each, if you look up here, so because each kind of section has like a big square here, so this one has like a letter, this one is like leaves and whatever, this one has all the zigzags, right? Before you put your foot down, I forgot to say this, but make sure that your top thread from your spool, we'll come over here, is inside your foot. So you want to put that inside, right? So it's not just flying around, you want it inside, okay? And then you can put your foot down. Okay, so now this says green, so we're ready to go. And we want this button for stitches and number 3. It's already on number 3. Okay, let's go back. Okay, this number, stitches 03. How about that? Okay, and now to put your needle in, I have a button here. So your needle is locked inside your fabric. Or if you don't have a button, people just like turn this lever, or turn like the handle knobby thing. And that makes your needle go inside your fabric so that you're stationed, you're ready to start sewing. And then before you start sewing a project, always backstitch at the beginning and the end. So your backstitch, I actually have a button that backstitches. It's this one here. And I had to put my foot pedal down. But other people, if you turn around here, this is my industrial sewing machine. And this lever is a backstitch. So if you look really closely here, you see the teeth? So that means, holding it down means it's going in reverse, okay? And then when you let go, then it starts going forward again, okay? So that's what the backstitch is. And now that we backstitched, you can kind of hold your fabric in place or whatever. You don't really need to push it or anything because that's what the feed dogs are for. So it's just, that's what the teeth are for. So look, it can just go, right? You just hold it so that it doesn't go all wonky, but the feed dogs are pretty good. So this is my straight stitch, and now I'm done. So let's do a quick back stitch. How about this? Here we go. Stupid. Oh. Okay, and I like it. So let's put the foot pedal up. Okay, and now we're taking it out. It's a little tension, oh no. So let's turn this a bit, turning the handle. And now we snip our threads, both of them. And you have a straight stitch. Congratulations, you have a straight stitch. Okay. Okay, so if we look closely on this, on my stitch, so it gets a little bit darker there, right? It looks like there's more thread there. That's where I backstitched, right? And same with up here, a little tiny bit. So to backstitch, it's just to make sure that the thread is there tightly and it's not going to come loose or anything, although it won't. But that's to make sure that the thread is secure and it's not going anywhere. Okay, hello, welcome back. So one more thing that you should know is that when we're talking about the tightness of the thread to the garment, like that's just normal, right? So you want it to be like a nice tightness in the fabric, from the thread to the fabric, right? So how you do that is you're going to have a little dial on your sewing machine somewhere. Mine is right here. And the bigger the number, the tighter the thread will be to the garment. And then the looser the number, the more, or the smaller the number, the more looser the thread will be to the garment. So it actually goes all the way up to 9, I believe. Yeah, it goes up to 9. So I keep mine kind of in the middle here. I keep mine at 6. Okay? So it's just a nice happy medium. So that's what gave me that stitch. It's pretty fine and nice. And then if you want to lengthen the stitch length, if you go over here, you can probably have like a plus or minus whatever sign on your machine. So see the numbers on the right, it has the kind of stitch length right there. So if you go up higher, that increases the length in stitch. It makes it longer. And if you go to a smaller number, it makes it shorter. See, it's like, I think because it did this thing around, it's like around the stitch. I think that's like standard, like 2.5. And then same with this one, same thing. This is like a standard zigzag. If you go higher, the zigzag's gonna be wider. If you go to a smaller number, it'll be shorter, right? It'll be more narrow. It'll be more narrow. So I like to keep mine just kind of in the circle, you know. I guess I can show a demonstration. So let's go to a smaller one. How about? Since we're just doing straight stitch, so I went to that. I clicked this screen first, and then I went to number 3, which is a basic straight stitch. And now I'm going to a smaller number so that you can see. Let's go here. How the length will be. Okay, look at how tiny that is. See? Compared to this one. Right, this one's kind of like a normal. And then let's get bigger than that. So now, if we go to, let's say 45, how about? See, there's less stitches and longer in length there. And I believe this one was at the 2.5, so let's just do it again. We'll see what happens. Let's do a back stitch because that's what you're supposed to do, and then you keep on going forward, and another back stitch. Okay, we are sewing and everything is dandy. There we go. That's a basic stitch. Okay, basic straight stitch. So that was at 2.5. Thank you everyone for making it to the end of the video. I hope that everybody has learned something maybe and taken something from this video and it helped you out in sewing on your machine now. If you have any more questions regarding your sewing machine, any more anything basically, you can ask in the comments below, or you can send me a direct message on my Instagram, on my greeneco_style, or you can also send me an email at greenecostyle@outlook.com. Thank you again for watching this video. I hope everybody has a gravy day and stay hydrated.